Welcome back from that break, and now let's get into the discussion. And joining me this evening is a member of the Senate, Senator Nether Imasuen. He joins me live in the studio. So let's get to talk. What are the perceptions? What are the hopes? Because the year is still quite fresh. The current administration, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, still have time to get a lot going and put the country in good track. So let's get to speak with Senator to know what the National Assembly and the executive is doing in order to put the nation in good lane. Good evening, distinguished.
Thank you. Good evening.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show this evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And it's also right to say a happy new year. I haven't seen you since the beginning of this year.
Happy new year to you.
Well, a lot has been going on in the National Assembly. So how has been the budget defense? Let's start from there.
It's been rigorous and thorough, I would say. You know how it works. We have the MDAs coming before the various committees that oversight them to justify their budgets. First of all, to give account of how they spend in 2024, and then see their projection for 2025, and to also justify why that amount of money should be released to them or approved for them. And then it takes the circle of looking at the budget critically and see whether or not these agencies merit what the money they have put in the envelope for them. Once that is done, then the Senate itself, the committee chairmen themselves will now defend their budget before the appropriation committee. And that takes a whole long circle to be done. Once all that is done, then the appropriation committee meets and they review everything, and then the decision is made as to what gets what. So that's where we are now. Appropriation committee have met, and by tomorrow we'll see what comes out, and then the committee of the whole, which is the whole Senate, will attend to it.
All right. Yeah, at the moment, Nigerians are aware that there are two crucial bills before the National Assembly. One, the 2025 appropriation budget, and number two, the tax reform bill. So we see the members of the National Assembly have been up and doing. So what has been the outcome of the 2025 budget defense so far?
So far, so good. That's what I just said. So far, so good. The various MDAs have appeared and they have made their cases, and different committees have also met and, taking decisions on those appearances before them. And then they have in turn, that's the chairman, I oversight 3 agencies, for instance, and have in turn defended a budget before the appropriation committee. And so we're waiting for the outcome. In some cases, we believe that the envelope money given to them is not enough, and so we're asking that it should be increased, and we need to justify why it should be increased. And in some cases, in the wisdom of the committees, they believe that the money given to them is too much, and then they try to reduce it. And you do these things by looking at what your purse was in 2024, how much of it was spent, was it value for money, was what was appropriated actually carried out. If you couldn't spend the money, then it means you already need all of that money. So there are a whole lot of things that go on in concluding as to what an MDA gets in the budget.
Right. Now, some of your colleagues have argued that the 2025 budget is futuristic. So some have also come out to say that, look, the 2025 budget is not a budget of today. It's a budget that, tend to shape the future of Nigeria tomorrow. But then, how futuristic can we say this budget is, looking at the 2024 budget, which performed very poor?
Well, it's true that this 2025 budget estimates is futuristic. It's taking a different turn from what it used to be. And let me cite 2 examples. One, the blue economy. The Ministry for Blue Economy was not there before, as it is now. And what is it targeting? It's targeting the revenue or that sector of the blue economy. That is our riverine areas, where we get from it, all that chain of blue economy, shipping coming in and all that. So a lot of money has to go there to develop this blue economy, which is hopefully is going to return revenue back to the country. The second one is the solid minerals, which is another sector that have been largely neglected. There is no state in this country that do not have something underneath it. Okay. We have gold in many states. We have bauxite, name it. We have all sort of where in Borno, for instance, you'll be amazed how many minerals, solid minerals we have there. And these are areas that have been neglected, and these are things that other countries leverage on. Ghana, for a long time, is gold. South Africa is gold. Most of these East African countries, they have gold and other minerals, which we also have. Okay. But because of this craze for oil, we have neglected that, and so there's not enough money to go around the country to do what we need to do. And so going into these two areas, for instance, pumping money into it to revitalize them or to grow those departments with the hope that when it's fully developed, it will in turn not only help in job creation, but it's also going to create a lot of opportunities for Nigerians in those ventures. So it's futuristic.
But the question is how futuristic, because when we look at the performance of the 2024, first, it seems like we're going to be, the country is going to be running on two budgets, that of 2024 and now the 2025, which in no time the National Assembly will pass into law. But then, looking at the performance, which the capital expenditure was just only performed at 25% and recurrent at 100%, where does this in a way or any way show transparency or competence of these ministries and agencies? Because when we talk about this capital expenditure, these are factors that would have benefited the Nigerian people. You talk of education, you talk of road, you talk of infrastructure, you talk of job creation. So what is the National Assembly doing this time around to see that what happened in 2024, what happened with the budget of 2024 does not repeat itself in 2025 budget?
Well, thank you so very much. You shouldn't be surprised that that capital expenditure was not only captured lower than 50%, and then you're looking at the overhead and the current expenditures 100%, because that's where the salaries are. And so we have to pay salaries, and so everybody that works for the government earns salaries, and I'm not sure that we have a situation where salaries are owed anyone, and so it has 100% performance. Now the problem with the capital is the releases of these capital budgets. And so you have a budget says you are constructing 40-kilometer roads, which in the budget line is, for instance, I'm using this figure, say 14 billion. And then this 14 billion, the contractor bids for it, he gets the contract. But he's not doing the 14 billion right away. He's giving money as is released to him. And so he gets 5 billion or gets 2 billion. He does what 2 billion will do. And then he waits until the next tranche is released to him. And before he gets to the end of that 14 billion, it has rolled over to cycle of next year. And is the issue of releases. And this is what this government, or at least this National Assembly, is trying to correct. That we have interrogated this issue over time. And we're saying that for a budget to work to its performance level, or a high performance level, the budget has to be funded as at when due. having it run concurrent, the reason why we did that again is to make sure that those budgets, those projects that were not done in 2024, if we apply the law strictly the way it is, they'll be abandoned. They will not become abandoned projects. And so we were extended by 6 months to run concurrently with 2025. And so by the end of June this year, those 2024 budgets or the projects in the 2024 budget would have been completed. And again, running concurrently, the 2025 budget would have taken effect as soon as it's passed into law. So they both will run concurrently. So by the end of 2025, hopefully, we won't have this issue at all. But the Senate, the National Assembly, is serious about the releases of this fund, because that is where the problem is.
Talking about release of this fund, all right, viewers, at this point, let me also remind you that our phone lines are now open for you to call in to join the conversation. Call using the number displayed on your screen. Now, talking about fund release, the National Assembly asks Wale Eden what happened to the money which has been which Nigeria has saved from subsidy.
Well, of course.
So what was it used for? What has the money been used for?
Well, in running the government. If you're asking, if what you're asking is there a specific project?
Exactly. Is there a specific?
But that is not how it goes all the time. Remember that I'm not holding beef for this government, nor for its economic team, but for what I understand of it. Fresh subsidy, money saved from fresh subsidy has gone into other projects. Remember, we are building a whole lot of roads, the East-West road, the one going from Lagos to Calabar through the sea, and the other one going from Lagos or somewhere.
Was that what the minister said that happened?
No, but they have to tell us what they're using the money for, because this money
is the responsibility of the National Assembly to ask the minister to give account of what he said that has happened to the money that we've saved from subsidy.
Yes, you see, if you have a port and everything is in this port, right, and it's from that port that you take money to do other projects. And to be, why would you don't want to ask this particular one, because somebody could mingle in the port. So what is this particular money saved from? Unless there is an agreement which says, for instance, that this money saved, use it to build school, use it to build road, use it to build that. That was not. It's not said and it's not done. It's just the same thing as money recovered from abroad, money that was stolen by Nigerians that have been taken to other countries. Now they repatriate it. We will not every Nigerian ask, what do you use that money for? But again, it goes back into the budget, which is used now to do the larger part of work that the administration envisaged to do. So that's what I say. It's not. I don't know. I don't know where your question is going.
Well, I feel like you should know, as at least as a member of National Assembly, is there responsibility to hold the minister accountable?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So the money it's not missing, as far as I know. It's in the budget. It's in the purse. It's in the purse, the federal government's purse, and it's from that same purse that money is taken out to do various programs that the federal government is doing. Remember, a whole lot of stuff were done at the beginning of this administration where money were given to whether market women or rice palliatives here and there when the economy was really biting. Money came from somewhere. Money didn't print, money came from somewhere. And these are some of the sources that money came from.
So should Nigeria agree or believe that the money saved from the subsidy, according to the minister, about $20 billion, about 20 billion is in the dollars or naira, was used to share palliatives to Nigerians to cushion the effect of the first subsidy? Is that it?
No, all of it couldn't have been used for that. But I'm saying that. But
again, a lot of Nigerians did not even benefit from these palliatives that we are talking about.
Well, again, that is the country where we live in, but it's also interrogated, and those, for us, in opposition, for instance, we always ask that people who contravene the law should be brought to book, regardless of their political affiliations. And so if there's an untoward behavior on the part of government officials, then they should be held accountable for it. If when there's lack of accountability, that will begin to have problems like this.
And who should hold them accountable?
It is still the National Assembly. No, of course. We don't control the police. We don't control the army. We don't control the EFCC. They do. And all these agencies are put there to address the issue we're talking about.
All right, viewers, we are still talking spotlight. We are still talking the 2025 appropriation bill, and Senator Neda Imaswan, representing the good people of Edo South Senatorial District, has been speaking with us this evening. Now, Senator, I want to understand the 2025 budget, which the president proposed about of 49.7 trillion naira. That was what the president presented. But you know, we've seen the National Assembly during the budget defense and after the budget defense, the amount jumps from the initial money or amount the president has presented, and it's called padded budget. Is it padded budget? So we are curious, and we want to know, should we expect padded budget this time around? Because Nigerians are even saying, when you look at the 2024 budget and the 2025 budget, is almost like a ×2 of the 2024 budget. So was there a padded budget again this time around?
Again, the 2025 budget estimates is very ambitious, no doubt about that, and that ambition is as a result of what this administration perceived that they ought to do to bring the country to a certain level. Now, what is padding? Let me use a very practical example. So I represent, you are from my district, and you come to me that certain road in your neighborhood has not been done for years. And you ask, what can I do about it? What do you think I can do about it? I'll try to put it in a budget.
Okay.
Will you consider padding? That is what it called padding. It's when senators and House of Rep members who are there to represent the people, they listen to what the people tell them. They listen to what the people ask them to do. And they do the best they can within the confines of their influence and power to address some of those issues. And so you go to some areas where students are still studying under the tree. The president doesn't know that. He doesn't know that place. He probably will never get there, but I do. And I see these things. And for me, it's something that is not, it's not tolerable. And so I'm addressing the budget. I want to talk about it. Can this budget not at least accommodate these needs of my constituent? And so every member of the National Assembly have one or two things to do by way of helping his constituents. And to be honest with you, but for the National Assembly members, certain places in this country will never have seen any government or federal government intervention. Never. But because you are close to the people and you go to these places, you are able to see what is going on. And so you present them. That is why you are there, to represent the people. So I don't know if they call it padding, whatever they call it, but it inures to the benefit of the people. Yeah,
no doubt about that. But the question around it is that even the actual budgets, we can't even see. Nigerians can't even see the performance of the main budget. How much more the padded? We just talked about the performance of the 2024 budget. So in 2024 also there was padded budget. So now even the basic budgets could not perform. How much more the padded? That's what we are talking about.
So let me borrow your word, because I don't use the word padded, because I don't believe there's any such thing as padding, unless you don't really understand what the effect of what the legislature does for its people. As I explained to you earlier, this so-called padding budget don't even have enough. The gap finance is not even released. It's not released 100%. So we may have this 49.7 trillion budget. We may not be able to we may not have that 49.7 trillion released into the economy to do what it is that we have said it should do. And so we look at the figure. If you follow the money, you realize that no, we have not been able to we don't even have that 49. Remember, the budget depends on a whole lot of factors. The cost of petrol. And so if we peg it at 72 or 75, and then the price drops to 70, we're in trouble. Because that money, we are not getting it. So there's a lot of factors that go into this budget estimates that eventually become law. So it's not everything you see there that actually is expended, because the money is not really there, as you think it is. If it is, then the releases will not come in trickles. The releases are coming in trickles because we are waiting for the money from oil. We are waiting for the money that we have said we're going to borrow. The fact that we say we are borrowing money now doesn't mean the money will come now or tomorrow. It takes a process. And so the calendar year does not wait for that process. So as the process is going on, we are now in January, we are now in February, we'll go to March. Maybe this process will come through in April. We've lost 4 months already. You understand? And so there's a carryover of some sort. It's not as if this 49.7 trillion is sitting somewhere now. It's not. It's not. It depends on what we're going to sell with our crude oil.
So is that really what happens?
That's what happens
in closed doors? Because we are wondering what goes on in closed doors. During budget defense and even before now. You see, before the members of the National Assembly say closed door, and we kind of wonder what really goes on in this closed door.
You want to tell the truth?
Things that
Can I tell the truth?
Yes, please tell us the truth.
Closed door, oftentimes we use languages that we don't want to use on television in addressing some of the issues. Some senators get so crazy, so mad at certain things, and they use all sort of language, abusive language, whatever language, to at least let that person know that we cannot tolerate this. But we don't want that on television or in the pages of newspapers, because that becomes the headline, and at the end of the day you forget the underlying story, or what is it that precipitated that. It's just a headline. Senator said he's bad, and then that takes the headline. But that's not the story. That's not the whole story. And so it's closed-door meetings actually an opportunity for you to be, will I do unconventional? To express yourself the way you want to express it, to drive home the point that you want to drive home, and hear them also respond to you in all honesty. That way we are able to see what the situation, what the problem is, and see how we can address it. It can be ugly sometimes.
Really? So that's what goes on in closed
doors? That's what goes on.
Nothing beyond waste management goes on during the closed door sessions. I'm just asking that. I'm asking you because I want to know.
What management?
I said waste management, to be able to manage people's waste.
Yeah, and then to be, you can be explicit sometimes. You can actually get crazy and get angry, but you don't want that to be the headline. You don't want the public to see we're human. Remember? We're human beings. We get angry. We get ticked off. But you don't wash your dirty linen in the public.
All right. We have someone here. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. If you can hear me, more from Meduguri.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Meduguri, and I'm welcoming the distinguished senator.
All right, please go ahead with your contribution.
My question to you, I guess. Please, as Nigerians, as laymen, a good time to time, some of you the legislature to be visiting this type of fora where we can understand what used to happen. Like just as she asked, closed door. I used to wonder, what are they discussing? Is it prayer that is really closed door? But now you have told us you don't want certain languages to come out on the air. So this is a good thing. You have now enlightened me. This is how things should be. This secrecy in Nigeria is what gives room for rumors. Honestly speaking, if things are left with room for some time, where people will understand what happened, troubling grudges will be minimized.
Okay.
I'm sending this message to you to help us look into certain things that are so common, but they are not common. A leader cannot be everywhere. We all know. A president cannot be everywhere. So you as a senator in Abuja or legislator in Abuja, you cannot be everywhere. There are minor things that you stop innocent people at the grassroots that you are representing. If there is a room of open communication, honestly speaking, it affords people to understand, so something happened. We can, okay, our representative is just recently about this tax reform something, where Senator Ndure were able to talk loudly to Nigeria. Everybody is only Ndure and Adam Osomale that are actually representing Nigeria.
Okay.
The other people too, they have the responsibility to air, to say things that touches the people at the grassroots. So what I'm now saying, pleading with Captain TV to give more room for people of that caliber, time to time, to be coming in, to be talking to Nigeria.
All right.
And still now, let me just inform you, Honorable or Distinguished, that Captain TV Fora are only, for now, I'm saying it, as a public or massive grassroots television fora where people can able to hear and air what they're supposed to hear for the progress of Nigeria. So if we have this type of privilege, then that privilege should be utilized to the fullest. I congratulate you for coming to Marx's television fora to be telling us what is happening in that closed door meeting. I'm happy about it, sincerely speaking. Last but not the least, please, if you go back to the Senate, when you are defending this budget, try to put your satellite on what is really happening in the local government fund. Local government fund is where money goes down to cultivate, manage, borehole, and so on and so on. Somebody in the state government house will hijack this thing and allocate the whole money to his wife's brother or something like that. Before you know it, the whole money will not be in. People will cry. We have representatives in Abuja and they cannot look into it. I know this is a great issue, but as a representative of the people, you have a duty to look in and see how your people are faring. We're Nigeria. You have seen what is happening in America. Everybody is shaking. So we don't allow ourselves to become a slave in our own country.
All right. Thank you very much, Mo, for for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you. All right, so quickly take a short break, and when we return, Senator talks to us about what is really going on in Edo politics. Do stay right there with us. Welcome back from that break. I'm still being joined by Senator Neva Imeswan, who represents the good people of Edo South Senatorial District. He joins me live in the studio. Senator, your state, the Edo State, have been on the news timeline. I don't know why you're smiling, but then I want to understand what is really going on in your state. Who is right and who is wrong? At least you're a lawyer, so tell us legally who is right and who is wrong.
In respect to what matter?
Of course, in respect to the political crisis going on in Edo State. As much as I know that your party, which is the Labour Party, is, it's not captured in the main picture, but what is really going on in your state?
Well, my state is a peaceful state, I must tell you that. There will always be political wranglings when it comes to political matters. I don't know, are you locating this question to a particular political party, or you want me to estray the...
I think I want you to speak as a Nigerian and as a lawyer, as someone who understands the law. So not as a politician this time around.
Well, are you speaking specifically on the past election that is in court?
Everything that's going on the local government council, the election we saw the court, the court held today to the results that declared Okoblo the winner of the. So a lot has really been going on. Now, do you think the governor of your state, even though you're not a member of the APC, you're from the opposition party, is he doing right according to the law? In respect to local government council?
Oh, respect to local government council. I think I've answered this question in a different forum. But look at it this way. He comes to power, or comes in as a governor, and then he's told that local government funds are misused.
Okay.
And then he says, okay, let me address it. And he says to local government, let me see your books. And the local government says, no, you don't have any right for you to tell us to show you our books. And he said, oh, okay, the House of Assembly has the right to do that. So he goes to the House of Assembly. And like I said before, remember this same House of Assembly is populated by PDP,
okay,
not APC. I think Labour Party has only one person there, one. So it's populated by population. I mean, the majority there is PDP, and this APC governor and this local government chairman we're talking about are all PDP local government chairman.
Okay.
So he goes to a PDP House of Assembly and he says to them, "These chairmen who are your PDP chairmen have misappropriated money. I need to do XYZ." And then the State House of Assembly, in its wisdom, I'm talking about the PDP House of Assembly, in its wisdom says, oh, you're correct.
Okay.
So we're going to do it. And they go ahead to do it. Why is the touchlight on the governor and not on the State House of Assembly that is actually owned by PDP? I think that's where for me, that's where the naughty issue is. Because if the House of Assembly stands and says no, the governor won't do anything.
Okay.
But they agree with him, and someone has to oversight the House of the local government, and that body is the House of Assembly, and they are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, in the backdrop of that is the Supreme Court judgment, which has given autonomy to the local.
Give me a moment. I want to get something with the local government autonomy that you're about to say. Oh, we lost that caller. Initially, we had a caller. Please go on.
You know, the backdrop of that is the Supreme Court judgment, which gives financial autonomy to these local governments.
Okay.
Now, the governor, the State of Assembly are caught in this web. But remember, the Supreme Court judgments, which represent the highest body of law of courts in our country, when they make pronouncements, it becomes law, and that's what it is. Which is why the presidency itself or the executive is saying, well, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, what the Supreme Court says you should do, then we're not going to send that money to you at all.
Okay.
So there is a repercussion for all of this behavior on both sides, and so we can only wait to see how it's going to play out.
So, if I get your point clearly, the governor is not in any way abusing.
Because he went through the House of Assembly. He went through the House of Assembly. If he had used a firearm from his office and said, "Oh, I'm the governor, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," and he unleashed police on them, that's a problem. But he went to the House of Assembly. And the House of Assembly agreed with him. If the House of Assembly had disagreed with him, and he still went further to do what they say he shouldn't do, then there'll be anarchy. There'll be a problem. But that is not the case here. So for me, that is it. That is the, when people complain and say, well, have we really estranged this House of Assembly? If they were all APC, I say, okay, so they're just playing to the gallery of the governor. But they're majorly PDP. And all of these 18 local government chairmen are all PDP. So they're the same party. I want to assume that the whole meetings, I want to assume that they meet, I want to assume that there's leadership that gives them direction. If that is not so, then the party itself has a problem.
So, but then, does the law give the governor the power to act as headmaster, or do we look at it that maybe the State House of Assembly, does it really have the power to sack the local councilmen?
No, it has the power to oversight them, and there's just this oversight function that the House of Assembly is doing, and that is under the cover that the governor says, oh, I don't have the power like that, but the State House Assembly does. And so he went to State House Assembly and presented his matter. And State House Assembly, in its wisdom, say, okay, we agree with you, so let us investigate this and see whether or not there's misappropriation of funds. No matter how you slice it, if there's a misappropriation of funds, then it must be addressed. And the only body that can actually do it is the House of Assembly.
So how long was that order supposed to take before the sacking of the local councilmen?
How long what?
How long was the order given by the governor? How long was it supposed to take? Does it call for immediate sacking?
No, it wasn't. I didn't see it as sack as such. It suspended them and says you cannot be there when I'm investigating you because I won't be able to get the information that I want. So step aside and let's investigate this matter. It was suspension to my understanding. It wasn't a total sack. As a matter of fact, I think it's for 3 months. Yeah, so is it right or wrong? That's a different story entirely.
That's the question. Is it right or wrong?
Because you went to the National Assembly, that's what I'm saying. So you know what you say when you're clever, you're clever. You went to the House of Assembly, you didn't break any law by going to the House of Assembly.
Now, distinguished, we are running out of time. I want you to tell us what is really going on in your own party, because we kind of see some crises. We don't want to talk about that. That of the PDP. The PDP are having theirs, but I want to understand what is the crisis in your party all about, because the way it does look, Nigerians are asking for a political party that is unable to organize its members. What is the guarantee they can, manage the affairs of a country?
Excuse me. If I have to be very honest with you, I'll say in one word that I don't know what's happening in my party. And that's the truth. I really do not know. So
are you bothered? Are you worried?
No, I'm very bothered. I'm worried. I'm worried in the sense that we're almost like sheep without shepherd. You have a national chairman who says he's the national chairman, but it's not even wanted by the people because of untoward things that have gone on back and forth. His tenure came to an end. He didn't want to step aside, and he said, let's have a Congress so that we can have a new. No, he doesn't want to do that. So as far as I'm concerned, he goes about in some of the states. In my state, for instance, I woke up one morning and I'm told that there's a new chairman. I said, how did that happen?
So does it mean your party does not have a solid constitution that guides it as a political party?
Those who build country constitution knows there's a constitution there, but they have no respect. They have no respect for the constitution. They set it aside and do what they want to do, and that's where they create chaos.
And there is no punishment for anyone who goes against the constitution.
The punishment would have been for a political party, for instance, is to come and say, no, you step aside. Which Labour Party did in when we had the stakeholders meetings in Abia State and set up a 29-man working committee to run the party until we have a convention. And then someone will run back to court and say, no, we don't have power to do that. They are the one who should do that, and so they are not going to do it. We have no power to do it. They will suspend everybody in the party who even attended that meeting and all that nonsense. It's I don't know where we go from here. Honestly, I don't know.
The crisis in your party has led to some of your party members defecting to the opposition party. So, are you beginning to consider defection from your party?
Defection? Well, we are still waiting to see what is happening.
But if anything comes up, if you're given any opportunity from the opposition party,
let me tell you this: as a politician, our country, our constitution does not recognize running for a seat without having a political party. So before you run for a seat, you must belong to a political party. It has not recognized, our constitution does not recognize what they call independent candidacy. If the country recognizes, or if our constitutions are made to recognize independent candidacy, maybe some individuals will want to run on their own.
I want to understand if I want to understand if APC comes up tomorrow, which is the ruling party at the moment, and say, Senator Nether, we are giving you this, because it's all about it's about membership, it's about majority. So if APC comes up tomorrow and say, okay, distinguished Senator Nether, how about we give you this? For example, I'm saying maybe an importance or a big committee. Would you accept that?
To defect to?
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. Why did you say if PDP offers me that?
If PDP offers you that, I believe, why I didn't say so, because I believe what is going on in your party is of no difference with what is going on in the PDP.
Oh, so my answer to you therefore is, what are my choices?
Oh, well, but then would you still consider?
What are my choices?
So what are your what is it?
I don't know. You just answer my question.
Because I'm not a senator, but you are.
But you just answered my question. Would I be jumping from frying pan to fire?
But I didn't give reference with the PDP. I gave with the APC, which is the ruling party.
Is it because it's the ruling party, or because, assuming, is it because it's the ruling party, or because it doesn't have the kind of crisis the other two parties have?
Well, for the same reason why some of your your party members have defected to APC.
Will you blame them?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, can I answer that question? I do not blame them.
Okay. Now, so that is what I'm trying to say. If you're given the opportunity, that means you might consider it. You might.
Well, let's see. I'm not going to jump until I see where I'm jumping to round 2, and I'm not going to cross the river until I get there.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, distinguished Senator Nether, for being with us in the studio this evening. Senator Nether has been speaking with us on various issues, starting from the activities of the National Assembly down to party member issues, and it's been wonderful having you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And this is where we draw the curtain for today's program. Thank you so much for watching, and do stay tuned on Kaftan Television for more updates. I am Messi Emelite. Have yourself a wonderful evening.